This is Agent Barnes. Target eliminated. Moving on.
KO! Oh, talk about a headache!
The first place snail racing cup presented to Squidward Tortellini. Will I ever win?
What's up YouTube, Tenton here, and today I will be discussing the next time a death battle between Crona from Soul Eater and Venom from Marvel Comics. But before we go on to that, let us briefly discuss episode 133.
What is it, Peterson?
I'm not sure. I feel a disturbance.
You fool! It was episode 134!
Dark Shark, what are you doing here in my recording booth?
I'm here to fix your idiocy. It's episode 134, you fat buffoon.
Did you seriously come here to make me count the battle royale between the 7?
Pretty much, yeah.
Bro, you can't just bust into another man's recording booth. It is a sacred place where one can be alone with their thoughts. And the script that was painstakingly written for this. Seriously, I work hard for you. Subscribe already!
Bruh, you're in my closet.
Hey, listen, you got good audio quality in here. Besides, it ain't my first time in a closet.
Huh?
Yeah, my brother used to stuff me in closets all the time.
Oh, okay, thank fuck. That's what you meant.
Hey, language. This is a remotely family-friendly channel.
Fine, well, whatever. Since you're going to be recording this in my house, would you mind if I join?
Shark, you want in on a death battle prediction?
You asked me yesterday, you fuck. Now you're just writing me into an intro to have some narrative tension to make us team up.
Well, I guess you do know a decent amount about Soul Eater, so you got yourself a deal.
Alright, let's get on to episode 134.
Why'd you say it's so aggressive? Yes! Let's go to episode 134! I've been waiting for this moment!
Winter Soldier vs. Red Hood was fucking epic. Great choreography, an awesome soundtrack, great characterization, and that live action effects. Oh!
So you're just gonna be stealing my thunder throughout the whole video, aren't you?
You know who you decided to collab with?
Fair enough. Shark's take isn't wrong though. Jason vs. Bucky had a lot of passion behind the fight, and that scene with Jason and the crowbar was just epic. Plus the Venom scene and the dialogue with Bats was just so good.
That kill was trash though.
Yeah, the kill could use some work, but the rest of the episode was fantastic. A season highlight in my book, and a much better fight than Nightwing vs. Daredevil.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Now, if only you could have just gotten it right. You're 1 for 4 so far, right?
Hey, listen. Shut up. Despite me being wrong, I still did bring up some good points. I was right that Bucky had more experience and had a better 1v1 track record. I was justified in saying that Bucky was stronger. My depiction of their speed was similar and accurate to how Death Battle did it. I was right to bring up Bucky's guns exploding in Jason's Venom. I did overestimate Jason's durability, and the feat with Supergirl's strength was not as impressive as I thought.
You also failed to mention that the Venom is a 10 times multiplier and that you said his arm was vibranium.
Well, I was also right to bring up that Bucky's arm was weak to EMPs. Heck, they even used it in the animation.
Yeah, fair enough. You did a decent job. You were only completely wrong.
Hey, now, Hotshot. If you think this prediction game is as easy as you think it is, let's see you try to get one right then.
Alright, maybe I will. Watch me show you how it's done. Now, without further ado, let's get on to the next time.
And that scene with Jason and the crowbar was just epic.
Epic! That scene was epic! The theme of the next episode is characters with symbiotic relationships with a dark creature that grants them superpowers.
This matchup is not as hype as it could have been, but having Venom return is a nice choice. He outclassed Bane pretty hard, and giving him another opponent that is closer to his power level would definitely give Venom fans that close, nail-biting fight they really want. That's an overall theme with Death Battle in general. I don't care if my favorite characters win. I want the research to represent these characters the best way possible. I want the fight to give both characters epic moments that their fans can look back upon. I know I'm rambling, but Winter Soldier vs. Red Hood gave both Bucky and Jason great moments in the fight. Jason's conversation with Batman, Jason having PTSD from the crowbar, him using the EMP, the Venom, and Bucky got lots of love too. From him punching Red Hood in the face with his metal arm, to him blocking the bullets with his hand, to him tricking Jason with the gun and overall getting the kill at the very end. Even if you're rooting for the loser, you have to admit, this fight clearly respected both of them, and it was a blast overall.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done. Back to Venom versus Crona.
Cool. Moving on to something that actually matters. Venom, while not being the most thematically relevant or interesting matchup for Crona, still works pretty well, and I, for one, am looking forward to it.
Same here. Now let's get to the breakdown for these boys.
Boys as in plural?
Well, yeah, Venom and Crona are boys.
Crona's genderless.
Wait, really? But I watched half the show for this, and they referred to him as he all the time.
English dub changed it since Crona's pronouns don't exist in English.
So, how are we gonna refer to him?
You're doing it again. But for simplicity's sake, since Tenton sucks at writing and doesn't think he could write the script using they,
Hey, stop reading the non-dialogue parts.
we will simply be referring to Crona as a him if we are talking about him alone, but we will refer to him as they if we are also talking about Ragnarok.
That works for me. Now let's do this. Venom's first.
Fuck, man, that's mean.
No, I'm writing you as an asshole. Deal with it.
Why?
This dark, slimy douchebag premiered on Death Battle before I was into this whole prediction scene, so it's nice to finally give Venom a rundown of my own.
Strength-wise, Venom is stronger than Spider-Man, who could lift 130 tons, and he lifted this circus wheel while injured that weighed around 200 tons according to Death Battle.
Speed-wise, Venom has been listed as Mach 2 by Death Battle in the past. I personally think that is a drastic lowball. Venom fights Spider-Man regularly, and Spider-Man has lightning and light reactionary feats. Now, Venom isn't as fast as Spider-Man, but he is certainly comparable.
Venom's durability out of all of his stats is the most impressive. Venom has survived being impaled, rockets going off in his face, and he took hits from the Juggernaut, who is strong enough to cause magnitude 4 earthquakes.
That's impressive, but his two most impressive feats far outclass the rest. Venom not only took hits from the Incredible Hulk, including his Thunderclap, but he also resisted Ghost Rider's Pennant Stare.
I guess you could say he survived a real Soul Eater.
Urge to kill rising.
Another pun like that, and you will marvel at how many of your teeth I'll rip out.
Okay, moving on! Venom's arsenal has the power to turn himself completely invisible to hide in plain sight. Venom's symbiote has a wicked healing factor, allowing him to heal from broken bones, impalement, and broken everything when he got hit by Juggernaut.
The symbiote can also mimic abilities from its former hosts, like Spider-Man. Venom can produce webbing like Peter does, but his webbing is not only stronger than Peter's, but it is strong enough to hold Spider-Man in place.
The symbiote can manipulate its body and shapeshift into anything Venom can imagine. He can turn his hand into spikes, can sprout wings to glide, he can shoot spikes out of his body, and is capable of shaping his body into creepy tendrils, just like in the movies and the videos on Darkshark's hard drive.
I knew I could trick you into saying it.
Anyway, Venom once managed to use the symbiote to isolate specific toxins from within his body to protect Eddie from them.
Venom's body is so durable that instead of dodging bullets sometimes, he will just let himself get hit, and then use his shapeshifting to shoot the bullets back with deadly force.
Venom has tangled with a lot of Marvel's finest combatants, like Spider-Man without a host. He has also bested Electro, and he fought Carnage multiple times, and has gone toe-to-toe with Juggernaut, and he won.
Now, Venom does have a few notable weaknesses. The symbiote is vulnerable to fire and sound-based attacks.
Now, to Venom's credit, however, he has been able to build up some level of resistance through constantly being exposed to both. But if an attack is strong enough, or in this case loud enough or hot enough, it will still hurt Venom and potentially separate it from Eddie.
Venom also isn't the best strategist, because, you know, he's only completely insane.
Yeah, his symbiote had previously bonded with Deadpool, and that caused him to go a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Lastly, Venom is rather cocky, and he does have a tendency to toy with his opponents, needlessly dragging out fights just to show his foes how truly screwed they are.
I am Venom!
Okay, here comes the fun part.
Alright, this is your territory, Shark Boy. Take the lead.
With pleasure. In the world of Soul Eater, there are two types of people. The basic humans and those who can turn into weaponry. Crona is a human, and he has the big sad because of his witch of a mother who experimented on him and replaced his blood with black blood, which bonded him with Ragnarok, his magical and very powerful sword.
Crona, thanks to his mother's experiments, can manipulate his new blood for all sorts of things. His mom is Medusa, by the by.
The blood can be controlled by Crona, and it increases his muscle strength and ability to move around at superhuman speeds. He can harden his blood to help him take a hit, or he can liquefy it and shoot it out as a long-range projectile.
Stats-wise, Crona's strength is up there. He once destroyed a whole city, and even covered the entire moon with his black blood. He also claimed after fusing with Azura that he was powerful enough to destroy the entire planet.
Crona, according to what we were able to find, should be able to move at anywhere from Mach 10 to 25 and has some light speed scaling from Maka.
Defense-wise, he can take attacks that can destroy an entire city. He tanked hits from some of the series' strongest characters, including Maka using her Witch Hunter attack, and his black blood gives him a healing factor.
Crona's arsenal is where they really start to shine. Starting off is Crona's sword Ragnarok, a sentient and frankly annoying but yet charming sword.
Doesn't he threaten Crona with starvation?
See, exactly, he's charming. His sword is also a part of his blood and his partner in crime. Thanks to their bond, Crona can have Ragnarok shapeshift to sprout wings and turn into a damn dragon. Ragnarok can transform into a variety of forms, but his most notable ability is Scream Resonance. It uses a high-pitched scream to vibrate like an electric saw, increasing his cutting power, and can radiate the vibrations through the air to cause internal damage to an opponent, even at longer ranges.
And even if it doesn't hit him. Then there's his Black Blood Madness, which makes Crona unable to feel fear, which adds to his more erratic fighting style. Crona is also a highly skilled swordsman. He can use 3 sword style, in which he uses 3 swords by sprouting 2 more arms, apparently. He is also able to create a type of poison that can sever a person's connection with its weapon, making them unable to sync up and fight. After fusing with the Black Crown, Crona can use Black Blood armor to increase his defense.
He can cause his foes to go insane, pull down one of the moon's teeth, and he has another sword called Darkness. Crona can use his black blood to brew. While using brew, he was able to surround the entire moon with the Mad Blood technique, in which Crona shoots out a massive wave of blood that will engulf the foe and then decay them to death. But my personal favorite technique of his is the Madness of Boobs, which will cause any person affected by it to have a preference for breasts.
Are you sure you're not under its effects?
Listen, I'm more of a thigh guy.
Well, you see, Shark, we have standards on this YouTube channel.
Didn't you used to use PowerPoint for your videos?
Moving on, it affects both male and female enemies. However, don't get it twisted. Crona doesn't do this out of a sense of perversion, but it's actually a cry for help considering his mother never gave him the childhood he deserved.
His Bloody Needle technique uses his spilled blood to form needles to pin foes down for some good old-fashioned impalement.
His Bloody Slicer technique lets the kid slit his own wrists and shoot out hardened blood projectiles. His Bloody Lance allows him to fabricate a substantial amount of blood into a hollow cone and tapers into a single sharpened point, which is then launched towards his adversary with tremendous velocity. His Blood Coat technique also allows him to create a blood shield to protect himself.
Lastly, Crona can manifest a large number of vine-like tentacles from their body that he can use for both offense and defense. Crona skill-wise has matched Maka one-on-one and beat her. He also bested Asura and other powerful characters like Death the Kid and Blackstar.
With all that being said, Crona does have some notable weaknesses. His blood can be punched through by stronger foes if he tries to harden it to block attacks. He is also weak to specific anti-blood stuff that Venom obviously doesn't have, like Soul Menace. Lastly, if they try to absorb another person, he must be absolute in his will. Otherwise, he will lose being Ragnarok's main host. This can also happen if Crona's opponent has more will than him.
Alright, it's time for revision. Get the categories. But my favorite technique of his is the Madness of Boobs. Why'd I have to say favorite? Fuck you. Lastly, Crona can manifest...
What, Corona? Corona?
I hope I haven't actually said Corona instead. In terms of strength, obviously Venom takes this.
The guy did match the Incredible Hulk and freaking Juggernaut. Impressive as Crona's attacks are, there is no way he can match a 4.8 magnitude earthquake. Speed-wise, while close, they both have reactionary feats that could potentially put them near light speed. At the end of the day, Venom is slower than Spider-Man, and that has been directly stated before. Crona, while it's hard to know exactly how fast he potentially could be, his scaling is not held back by this limitation, so for the sake of this episode, I'm going with Crona in terms of speed.
In terms of durability, I believe that Venom would probably take the cake here. I mean, you can't just take a punch from the Hulk.
Yeah, plus, while they both have healing factors, Venom's is clearly superior, and Venom overall has taken way more impressive hits than Crona has. Arsenal-wise, it's not even close. Crona has so many more weapons and such more variety of what each weapon can do. From his black blood, to his weapons, to his ability to shapeshift, Crona just has so much more going for him in the regards of their arsenal and what they are capable of putting Venom through. Meanwhile, Venom can what? Shoot out some webbing, shapeshift a bit, and turn invisible?
In terms of experience, I would say Venom would take that category, having existed for 40 more years. However, that doesn't say that Crona would be completely without experience. After all, he has bested some of the series' greatest heroes.
Yes, while impressive, Venom's just sheer numbers advantage in terms of experience will likely put him ahead in this regard. Moving on to our second to last category, we have intelligence. This one is a no-brainer. Venom isn't an idiot by any means, however, Venom is very straightforward when it comes to battle strategy. He will generally just rush into a fight and not really think things through. Meanwhile, Crona on multiple occasions has shown their ability to think a situation through and work together as a team. When looking at their powers and how they match up to each other directly, we have two inherent questions. 1. How effective is Crona's sound-based attacks going to be on Venom? As Venom in the comics is weak to sound-based attacks, though over the years he has gained somewhat of a resistance to it. And while it still will heavily affect him, he is not completely done in by a sonic attack. The other question we have is, will Crona's ability to separate a person from their weapon affect the symbiote? Because if it does, it will leave Eddie Brock in a horrid situation where he will likely die. However, if it doesn't, Crona is going to have a hard time cutting through that symbiote. In Venom's case, there is the question of, can Venom punch hard enough to get through Crona's black blood and deal actual internal damage? As Crona's black blood, when hardened, is extremely durable. However, do we really think a character that can physically match Juggernaut couldn't punch through it?
As for who I believe will win this death battle, I of course have to take Team Anime, aka Team Crona, because of simply the speed advantage, the intelligence advantage, and the arsenal advantage.
For me, I have a hard time really nailing down who I think is going to win this fight, as it's very close, and I could honestly see it go either way. This really comes down to what death battle inherently values more in this matchup. Strength-wise, Venom is stronger. Speed-wise, Crona's faster. Durability-wise, they're even pretty well, but Venom's probably more durable overall. Arsenal, it's Crona's favor easily. Experience is Venom's favor easily. Intelligence is obviously Crona. And how well their powers match up to each other will really decide this fight for me. And at the end of the day, I think Crona will just barely take it. Assuming his sonic attacks work, and if he can separate Eddie from the symbiote, Eddie is doomed. Well, with all that being said, what do you guys think? Who are you rooting for in this death battle? Are you gonna rock with Eddie Brock, or are you gonna get infected by Corona? FYI, Dark Shark made me say that. He has me at gunpoint. Send help.
Sorry, I thought you were done. I said, are you gonna rock with Brock, or are you gonna get infected by Crona? Say that one, please. I beg of you.
Well, that's all for me, guys. This has been 10 Ton. Peace. And thank you, Dark Shark, for joining me with this.
You're welcome. Glad to help.
Great outro. 10 out of 10. Subscribe, please. I'm begging you. Bye.